Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 57 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. As you can see, I'm starting off the episode with this big area. I hope it's not too big, as a matter of fact. All set up and ready to go for a filler. And what am I up to today? Oh boy, I don't even want to tell you. Well, maybe I want to tell you. Maybe I'll wait a sec to find out. Let's get the filler running and let's see if it's too big. Fillers do have a max range, I think like 64 by 64, I want to say. But let's see. That looks like it's working all right. And I'm going to go ahead and grab some bricks in my filler with some glass, which as you know is the flattener recipe. And put some dirt in there. I'm obviously going to need a bit more dirt, but that's okay. And let's get right here a power teleport pipe going on frequency 1, why not, receiving true, and that should start doing some stuff, I hope. I guess we'll find out. So what am I going to do today? Well, I want to have a nice big flat open area with which to do some cool building. Yes, it's pretty big. I don't think I'm going to need quite such a large area here, but I guess we'll find out, right? Who knows? And yep. Looks like I'll just have to come back once all this flattening is done. So I'll be back in a few minutes, regardless of whether this is too big or not. I might have to shrink it, I'm not sure. But we'll see. So I'll be back in a few minutes once I'm ready to run this flattener. Alright, so I shrunk the area down a little bit. Looked like it was also getting a little bit stuck as a result of the tall grass hanging out there. And we're now flattening out the terrain because I just used the flattener recipe, as you can see. So, need a bit more dirt here, it looks like. So let's go do what we can to get ourselves some dirt. That ought to do. Better turn this guy off. Yeah, looking pretty good so far. Got a nice flattened out area. This might be good enough, it might not. I guess we'll find out. Gonna clear out a lot of this tall grass as well. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. So I've got a nice big area with which to work in. Might need more. Guess we'll find out. So why don't I clean up my inventory and this big old mess that I just made, and I'll be back in a few minutes to get started on this new project that I have in mind. Alright, inventory is clean. We've got a nice big open area to work with. A bunch of junk litter all over the place that I'll probably wind up cleaning up in a minute here. But what am I going to build today? Well, it's probably not going to happen today. It's probably going to take a few days to build. I would like to build something that I think is suited just perfectly for me, and hopefully I don't prove myself wrong with that, a Rube Goldberg machine. Those of you who aren't aware of what that is, you can go ahead and look it up on Google or in Wikipedia or something, but the basic definition, according to Wikipedia, of a Rube Goldberg machine is a contraption, invention, device, or apparatus that is deliberately over-engineered and overdone that performs a very simple task in a very complex fashion. So usually it's done in a chain reaction form, so you can go ahead and check out on YouTube some videos of Rube Goldberg machines, but it's basically this machine that does something very simple, but takes a whole heck of a lot of effort and work to do it. And I thought that would be fun to build, so I've got a couple things in mind, and I don't know how long it's going to take me to build it. There's a couple things I played around in my test world with, a couple things I'm going to try out here, but for now I think it's going to be kind of fun to build. So why don't we get started figuring out exactly how I want to build a Rube Goldberg machine. Alright, so the first step I'm going to do here is build out just this long area out of bricks. I thought bricks would look nice for this piece. Not sure why, to be honest with you, but yeah, what the heck, might look cool. And I'm going to terminate them here, I think. Looks good. And maybe just build this up like so. Yeah, not bad looking. Now I am going to have to extend this up a little bit. Not sure if I have quite enough bricks for this purpose. And if I don't, then oh well, I'll have to transmute myself some more. It would probably be a good time right now to get out my transmutation table, because I suspect there's going to be a lot of transmutations going on in the near future. Obviously, I'm already low on bricks, so let's get ourselves a few more with my Kleinstar. That sounds good. Alright, and might as well get this last one out of there as well. So, not going to use brick for everything. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this off the cuff, so I don't really have an exact perfect plan set up just yet. I do want to do something pretty neat, but, you know, let's see what happens. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and build out like this, and I'm going to have a machine that sits right here, I think. So in order to get that machine, and oh look, we're already getting towards the nighttime. So I'm going to go sleep through the night and then get the components for the machine that's going to go right here. And it's going to be the start of my Rube Goldberg machine. And because I'm going to be doing a lot of building out here and I don't want to have to constantly have my Philosopher's Stone on my hotbar, I'm going to go ahead and create a crafting table and place it right there. That looks pretty solid. And I'll make sure to have my remote orderer ready because I'm probably going to be requesting items rather frequently. Let's see, do I have in one of my green bags here? I think I should. Some redstone, and I'm probably going to need some more wood rather soon, so why don't I get some of that as well. There we go. Let's just grab like 11 of them. Sounds good. It's handy having this little thing hang out here, isn't it? Very much so. Alright, do I remember this recipe exactly? Probably not. One more thing I'm going to need, though, is a piston. So, obviously, I'm building a Tier 1 red power machine. So, while I'm waiting for that piston to come out, I'll spoil it for you guys. I'm building a deployer. So, in order to build a deployer, I'm going to need a chest, plus piston, redstone, and cobble. And I might wind up, as I'm building the machine here, not constantly showing you guys all the crafting that I'm going to be doing. So for now, why don't I grab my cobblestone back and place this guy like so. Now I want him facing downwards, so let's get the screwdriver out. I'm going to need that guy handy anyway. There it is. And I want him facing down. Cool. And why don't I, off camera, go ahead and build the machine that I'm going to place in there. I'll be right back. And I was just about to build something and realize I need to come back to my base for it, so it's time to remedy that problem that I just ran into. I never set up a provider pipe on this chest. You can see I've got a good amount of red matter in there, and I'm probably going to be having to transmute a lot of stuff, so didn't mean to click that. But let's go ahead and get that guy put back in position. There we go. And then I can place a provider pipe right like so. And I don't have to do anything with the wrench, I don't think. I'm just going to leave it like a normal provider pipe. Nothing too fancy there. Where's my wrench at? There it is. Yeah, I think the defaults are fine. And this way it's connected to my logistics network, which is ideal because I'm going to want to be requesting items out of here. And the reason it's connected to my main logistics network, remember, is that I did run this logistics pipe intersection right here. So this little system that I built last episode should be connected to my main logistics network. And if I really wanted to test it, I could run over here, grab a remote orderer, and try and request some red matter. Let's see, it should be in here somewhere. And as usual, it's probably staring me in the face, but I just can't find it. Huh. Give me a moment here and I'll be right back. Ha, I'm a noob. I forgot to put the red matter that fell out of the chest back into it. So, now if I run over here and try this out. Oh yeah, there's some red matter there. Sweet. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and just request one. Looking good. Awesome. Alright, so how about I go ahead and use that to transmute and get the items I need. And a lot of people posted about this in my last video, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to place the red matter directly in my transmutation table, and you can see the energy went directly into the Klein star, which is cool. I'm going to need some dark matter. And while I'm at it, I'm going to request 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. Burn these back up, didn't mean to request them. And of course, what am I going to create is an Evertide amulet. So just place these guys in here, and my water buckets in like so. And I'm creating an Evertide amulet to go directly into that little machine that I just created a minute ago. And I can of course burn this stuff up. See how I'm going to recycle here? Nice. And let's just place the Evertide amulet right in here. So this is the first step of my crazy, wacky, ridiculous system that I'm calling the Rube Goldberg machine. I'm going to activate this with a lever. So I'm probably going to have a few levers in this process, but let's give it a try. Ta-da! Water flow. Now I'm not entirely sure that I like it as high as it is, and I'm not entirely sure I like that you can't see it. And also note here that I'm going to have to figure out a way to turn this off. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I took some of the red matter that I went and requested there and dumped it into my Klein star, just so I had enough juice to power some of the things I want to build. And the first thing I want to do here is place a bucket of water in my deployer. But in fact, I'm going to move the deployer down here. The reason for this is, in my own testing, I found that deployers work better with buckets of water in them when they're facing upwards like this. Not entirely sure why. So let's go ahead and hit this. Let's activate it. Right now I'm going to use a lever. So I have some levers on me here. Let's go ahead and place one right along this wall. Oh, a little bit too high. So I'm thinking right here ought to work. And then I should probably seal this back up just to make sure we don't have water spilling all over the place. So let's put our water bucket inside. There we go. And of course I can pick it back up with the empty bucket. So that's a neat way to turn it on and off. And that's probably going to wind up being a button to start things. Now, I don't know if I like the fact that from the side here we can't see what's going on. I think it would be better if I could. So I might transmute this stuff into glass, but I'll do that in the morning. Alright, so let's see how well the mercurial eye works. I'm going to take this ice out of here and put a piece of glass in. Make sure I'm in transmute mode. And let's do it right here. Oh, you know why? I know why. The Klein star in here is probably full and can't store any more EMC. So if I move this guy... Ah, that's much better. Cool. So not entirely sure how I want this to be. Might have to mess around. Obviously, you can't have a lever on a see-through surface like that. So let me futz around a little bit off camera and make sure this looks nice, and then I'll come back. Alright, so I think I've tweaked this guy a little bit pretty well. You can see I made some of the pieces here glass, and I made a button here. When I press the button, water comes out. Sweet. And all that is a deployer with a bucket inside, bucket full of water. And then when I press the button again, the empty bucket gets right-clicked and retrieves the water source block, thereby removing all the water from here. So, next step. Let's knock this piece out real quick, and I'm going to get a couple items I need and be right back. Alright, next up, we're going to have a laser here, and I'm going to have a sensor right here. And underneath this laser, if I dig down a little bit, I'm going to just place a redstone torch. So I'm probably going to need a few of these guys at least throughout this process. So let's get one going, like so. And then I'm going to cover this back up with dirt so that it looks all purty. There we go. Laser. And as you know, the sensor is emitting a redstone signal whenever the laser hits it. So let's see what happens now when we press the button. Water comes down, laser goes off. Ha! Perfect. So, step 1 of our Rube Goldberg machine is complete. We're emitting a redstone signal after the first piece happens. And just because I use these things so often, I went ahead and added them to my auto crafting system. Of course, what I'm talking about here are logic gates. So let's go ahead and request a NOT gate. I just added the NOT gate and the timer, some that I'll probably be using quite a bit. It should be crafting that up back at my main area there, and while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to dip into my red bag here and make sure I grab a few red alloy wires. I'm probably going to need a few more of those while I'm at it, but for now I think I have enough. So there's my NOT gate, and red alloy wires, for whatever reason, are not friends with the sensor, as I think you guys noticed in one of the previous episodes here. Yep, so see how they're not connecting, and I can't place it on the sensor either. So I think that's just the way that the laser mod interacts with red power. So we definitely have to use at least one piece of redstone here, and while I'm at it, I'll just use 2 and place down my NOT gate. There we go, and that should keep things going. And then I'll run my red alloy wire here, and then I'm going to have another machine right here that does something. So let's try this out. What should happen is I should get a redstone signal once the water hits the bottom. Perfect. And the redstone signal goes away when the water goes away. Alright. Alright, so you can see I've expanded my little area here to build stuff with. I'm going to go ahead and use my lens table that I grabbed from inside my main house here and make a red lens. I'm going to put a border around it because I don't want it to be drilled into a block. And I'm going to go ahead and use an ender pearl and a couple rubies here to get this guy up to a red stone advanced lens, power +4. So what a red laser lens here does is it breaks blocks. Okay, so check this guy out. If I put some cobblestone in front of it and activate my little water power here, and don't worry, I won't be always activating this stuff, it should burn through the cobblestone. Ta-da! It'll also damage any entities that get nearby, but it doesn't destroy blocks, which is because I used the advanced lens with the ender pearl. If I had used a normal lens without the ender pearl, any blocks that landed in the red laser would be destroyed. So advanced lens means don't destroy the stuff that falls as a result of what you're doing. So let's turn this guy off and expand this little area. What I'm going to do is just run some blocks along here. That looks like a pretty good number. Nice. And like so. Cool. And at the end of these, I'm going to put another sensor plus laser combo. So why don't I build one of those real quick. Alright, here we go. I'm going to place down my laser like so. And the redstone torch that goes underneath it. I think I left that back here. I also grabbed this chest, by the way. It's just going to hold on to some items for me as my inventory is getting already to be a problem. So there we go. And this guy can be our sensor, which is again going to just emit a redstone signal when the block is broken. So let's give this guy a shot now. Water comes down here, activates the laser, which activates this red laser, and starts cooking up these blocks. And burns right through them. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Looking good. And then the red laser. I'll be right back. Alright, so what I'm doing next is grabbing this stone cyan lens with a power of +2 and a range of +10. Let's see how well this works. What I'm basically planning to do here is just line this guy up like so, and put this guy on here. And I'm hoping that it does what I want. Let's run this redstone wiring off like in this direction here. Probably going to have to run it like so. I was expecting to be able to do this with this guy. Let me just try him one more time. Well, I probably don't because I know it's not going to work. If a block falls there, it's going to interrupt this beam. However, I have an idea. Hang on just a minute. What I'm going to do is go ahead and place some glass in here with some rubies and another piece of stone at the top, and that's going to get me a stone white lens with a power of +4. Now the white beam, as you know, is going just to get interrupted by different things. So let's see, if I put this guy on here like this, looks good. And I'll just cover up the flooring here to make things look good. So you can see it's a thicker beam now. It will still get interrupted by the player, as you can see. However, it will not get interrupted by items now. So between the power of 1 and 3, it's blocked by items, mobs, and players. Between the power of 4 and 6, it's blocked by only mobs and players, not by items. Haha. So that is going to solve my problem there. Alright, perfect. So then what I want to do is go ahead and run some red alloy wiring, probably just like so. And I'm going to need another NOT gate for this purpose, so why don't I request one real quick and pretty much talk about what's coming up here now. So requesting a NOT gate. What's going to happen next is that blue beam is a pull beam, and it's going to pull the items that get knocked off by the red laser. So as soon as my NOT gate comes out here, there it is, thank you sir, I can go ahead and take care of that. There we go. No, I don't want a NOT gate, do I? That's correct. Right, because I'm blocking it. Yeah, I thought about that backwards. Alright, so let's go ahead and try this out now. Run the water down, activates the red laser. That burns off all the cobblestone. And the cobblestone here, once it's burned up, is going to get pulled towards the blue laser. Cool. I like it already. And you know what? I want to make a quick alteration here. Why don't I just do this, right? No border, just get a white lens of a power +4, right? And check this out. If I go ahead and place this block here, but drill into it on this side, and place my white beam like so, then this guy should work without a separate, a little spacer block, and it'll just look a little bit cleaner, right? So check that out. How's that look? See? Ta-da! And now if we break that block and drop something in front of it, it's going to get sucked towards that guy. So now it just looks a little bit neater. So you can't even tell that there's a thing there. And if I really wanted to be fancy, let's try this out. Hang on a minute. So let's try this out. If I open this guy up, you can see there's a bunch of templates listed over here, and I never did get around to what they're doing. You can use these blocks not only to emit lasers by putting a laser block in there, but you can also do reflectors and sensors, and all that does is put a piece of glass on any one side, and now you've got a sensor block on that one side. So that side right there, because I right-clicked on that face, remember it's the top left one, that face now is a sensor block. So it'll emit a redstone signal from this block, right like so. So now it's really sneaky and hidden, except for, of course, you've got the red wire there, but that's okay. Maybe I'll hide that eventually. Next up, let's build something else. So next up, I'm building a transposer. As you can see, just looking up the recipe there, I didn't remember that one off the top of my head, and that's going to go on the ground right here, I think. Yeah, so let's try that now, right? If I break this, I got it sucked into me, so that didn't work exactly the way I wanted it to, but let's try it again. And I'm also going to might as well do this now, so let's get out our red bag here. And there should be some pneumatic tubes in here. Those are redstone tubes. Where are my regular old ones? I had some rubies in there. Might as well grab them. Maybe I left them in my green bag. Yeah, there's a few. All right, I'm gonna have to craft some more pneumatic tubes. Oh boy. But anyway, there we go. Straight up like that, right? So if I knock this guy off, he should get pulled out and thrown into the transposer and shot out the pipe. Cool. All right, next machine. I'm going to craft an industrial craft machine. And as you know, since I'm using flint, that means I'm creating a macerator, whatever you want to call it. And that guy's probably going to go sit right over here. So let's get our pneumatic tubes. I crafted up a few more of them, as you can see. And we'll run this guy straight into here. Now what's going to happen is cobblestone is going to get sucked in, so let's give it a try. Alright, that piece didn't work. That's right, I don't need all of these. I'm pretty much prepared for the possibility that one of these won't work. Alright, so the cobblestone goes in and lands in the top of the macerator. And then it's going to get macerated into, as you guys know, macerate cobblestone and you get sand. Cool. And since I happen to have some transformer upgrades, some energy storage upgrades, and even an energy crystal, I'll even grab 1 or 2 overclockers just to make sure that everything's good and cool. I'm going to fly right over in this direction and put these guys in. So overclocker, energy storage, and transformer. And as you guys know, energy crystals in a macerator will work if you have a transformer upgrade in there. So let's give this guy a try again. Knock that guy off. Cobblestone should make its way into this machine, land in the top, and the energy crystal here will help to macerate the cobblestone into sand. Cool. I like it. Now I'm digging around inside my little red bag here, and I happen to have a transposer and another deployer hanging out, which is exactly the combination of machines I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and place down my transposer there, and if you guys remember, transposers will pull one item at a time out of an adjacent machine. And I'm just going to run this guy up real tall here, and point it outwards a little bit, and from there, and why don't I get my swift pulse ready, because this is going to make this a little bit easier. There we go. Got myself a deployer set up. So, let's see what happens now. The sand will come out and get deployed by the deployer. Ta-da! Let's set up a system to make that happen. Alright, so what I did here is grab a cobblestone structure pipe and an iron AND gate and pop this guy down here and access this thing, and we should be able to detect where are we at? Machine on. Cool. The machine is not currently on. So if the machine is on, go ahead and emit a redstone signal. Let's give it a try. Place a piece of cobblestone in there, and it should emit a redstone signal. Perfect. Looking good. I like it. And then it turns off when it has no more work to do. Okay, from there I want to go ahead and activate a timer that I just requested out of my system. So let's give that a shot. Cool. So I actually want it to be when machine is off, go ahead and emit the redstone signal. And we'll do that up like this. And I should have in here some stone cover strips. I'll go with the wooden ones, just because that's what I happen to have a good number of. So I'll place one there like that. Cool. And that guy just connected for a moment. Don't worry about it. But basically, and I'm going to test this out in a moment. I might have to tweak this a little bit. That should happen. Now this sand did wind up here. So let's try this again. Go ahead and put some cobblestone in. And I might need a little bit of a timer here, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. So my machine off state isn't working. Alright, so I'm going to have to change that up. I'll be back in just a minute. I know exactly how to fix this. Alright, I just came into this area here and decided to make a gold AND gate. Perfect. I'm going to let it create a couple more for me because I don't know if I'm going to need them or not. But let's head back out there to my Rube Goldberg machine. There it is. And what I'm going to use instead of iron AND gate is the golden one here. So let's use our cobblestone structure pipe and connect on there the golden AND gate. And this is going to work a little bit better for me. I'm going to say items in inventory, sand. Haha, how cool is that? So it would have detected the energy crystal, except that I told it to detect sand. And if, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this. So let's do that. Emit a redstone signal when you've got sand in there. And I'm going to have to go ahead and put a NOT gate here. So this thing comes off, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so let's see how well this works. We're going to go ahead and put our NOT gate down here, which means this is going to emit a redstone signal, but we don't want that to connect to our machine, our transposer. So from here, we'll go ahead and put down the timer, wherever that thing is in my inventory. Oh yeah, I put it on my hotbar already. And then a red alloy wire right here. So what this should do is, as soon as it detects that there's sand in the inventory, come back here. Which shouldn't take too long because we have an overclocker, and I might need to replace this energy crystal at some point, but we'll see. Maybe I'll even go Lapatron with it. I've got the resources, right? It should go ahead and pulse as soon as there's sand in the inventory. Perfect. And it'll go ahead and plop sand up right there. Cool. Alright, had to come back to my house because this is one of the few items I can't go ahead and just make out in the field. I need an item detector next, and what I'm going to do is place these things here and here, but I'm already ahead of the game because I need to place down first this stuff to get myself a pressure plate. And then I can build my item detector like so. Cool. Now the item detector, I'm hoping, will work like so. If I place him right, I'm probably going to have to bring this up a little bit higher. Not that that's too big of a deal. And don't ask me why the red Qatar here doesn't work so hot on this thing. But let's see. Alright, I'm going to have to do this the sneaky old-fashioned way. There we go, and our wrench. There, perfect. So I'll be back in a minute once I just adjust this a little bit. Alright, one block higher, so something like this. And what I'm hoping is that this will work. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and place a piece of cobblestone in here. And remember, we'll be getting a few pieces of cobblestone coming in here, but that's all well and good. Cobblestone gets macerated into sand, and cross your fingers that this works. I really hope it does, because I haven't tested this yet. But the item detector should emit a redstone signal when the sand passes through. Ta-da! And it immediately deployed the sand. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted to see happen. Next up, going to go ahead and create an RS NOR latch here, or an RS latch, and this guy is going to activate at the same time that I activate the other thing. So let's do this real quick. And while I'm at it, do I have any wireless redstone on me? Probably not. Do I? No. So I'm going to request them real fast and run over and start working on my machine and come back and get these. So one of each, please. That should work. And I'm going to hook up my RS NOR latch right here. And remember, I suck at this, so Where's my wrench? I always, for whatever reason, can't hook these things up properly. Alright, that should be cool. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Where's my red alloy wire? So I'm going to test this real fast. If this thing starts pulsing, it's going to trip that, right? And it's going to keep it tripped. So even if it stops running for a minute, it's just going to keep it tripped. So that's good. And what I should probably do from here is just run some red alloy wire like this. Okay. And over here to get my wireless redstone, thank you guys, wireless receiver and wireless transmitter. The transmitter is what I'm going to hook up over here. So that'll look good. We'll call this frequency 100, why not? What do I want to have landing? Right here. So what do I want this thing to land on? Well, let's go craft it. I want it to land on a portal spawner. So what if I put that right there and tell this guy to be this color, the middle one on top. That looks cool. And where's my red alloy wire? I want to bump this up a little bit. One more to here. So what should happen is when that timer pulses, it should activate over here and everything should be good. And what I'm going to do is place a receiver right under here. Remember I used frequency 100? Right. So let's go ahead and put our dirt back and our portal spawner right here on the wall. And we'll make it this color. And I'll come right back once it's daytime. So let's test this little system out. If I go ahead and get rid of this NOT gate here, that should pulse once. Hold on. Nobody panic. Hang on a sec. Alright, I was just playing around with a bunch of redstone, and as I was sitting here thinking for a minute, I'm like, hold on a second, I'm overcomplicating this. Now I know the purpose of a Rube Goldberg machine here is to overcomplicate a little bit, but I didn't want to overly overcomplicate it like I just did, so how about I dig down here real quick, collect all this dirt and stuff, and realize that I didn't even need the timer setup that I had. All I gotta do really is put this here. And what should happen now is by placing a piece of cobblestone in here, it's going to pulse the redstone signal when there's sand in the inventory, thereby activating the transposer. So the timer was unnecessary. Ta-da! It worked like a charm. So that should get me what I need. And that'll drop the sand. Ta-da! Which right now got destroyed, but that's okay. Alright, I think I've got this sorted out properly now. Just took me a little bit of time off camera because you know how good I am with redstone. But once I activate this guy, let's see what happens, alright? So the cobblestone will detect the sand in here and activate the portal using this little complicated system, okay? It's also going to go ahead and drop the sand through the portal as soon as it goes through. And look, you can see it landed over there. Cool. Now, this timer is running on a 15-second timer, and boom, automatically stops itself and ticks at the appropriate time. The only problem here is it's interacting with this thing. So let's see, where's a little wooden strip? I don't want you messing with this guy. Cool, much better. No longer messing with that guy. So that looks like it worked perfectly. So let's try this Rube Goldberg machine here for reals right now. I'm going to go ahead and knock this guy off. So the water will activate the redstone signal, which will activate the red laser, and the red laser is knocking off all this cobblestone. The cobblestone is going to get sucked up by the blue laser, ta-da, directly into the transposer, at which point it'll get turned into sand by the macerator. So this is a little bit of a test, and I'm not done with this machine yet, by the way, but it's getting to be that wrapping up point that we all love. So let's see. We just got through and activated the portal here, so that's cool. Got our sand deposited right like so on the other side of the portal. And we didn't close the portal yet because it takes more than 15 seconds for the sand to get created by the macerator. Ha! How cool is that? So you can see it's resetting the timer every time we get a piece of sand. Now I've got a little bit more cobble than I really wanted to have. That's okay. I think we're going to have a problem. There we go. So you see it just deposits that sand right there. So any excess sand is just dropped on the ground, and that's not a problem. We're all right with that. So like I said, not totally done with this system yet, but it does feel like a pretty good wrapping up point. There's some more I want to do. Like I said, it's just kind of like a fun little goofy, silly, crazy thing to build. And then like I said, the portal here will get turned off automatically by the timer once it hits 15 seconds. and that's really just to prevent lag. So I think that's the pretty good start of a nice, neat Rube Goldberg machine. What do you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed checking out episode 57 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Stay tuned for episode 58, where I'm going to go ahead and do some more crazy, wacky stuff just like this. Take it easy.